What's up, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And today I want to talk about the Los Ratones, the new hot team on the block. And I think I've been really enjoying watching the team. I think it's great that streamers are starting to have teams, and it's really cool to be able to see both the games and their scrims, and hear all the comms and kind of like watch the team. But I think that I've got a pretty big worry about the team. The team looks really good. I think the team is going to be really good. I think that there's like a pretty big chance that they will win whatever league they decide to join. Um, but I do worry about the team when Rekkles joins and Kjo's not playing support. And I think that people are overlooking something when with that because that's not necessarily the most hot take of all time. Because I know people have said that like without Kjo shot calling, it's going to make the team worse. And I think that that is potentially true for the beginning. I think that they're going to see a step back when that happens, simply because they're so used to playing with the shot calling from Cadril, and they're not going to have it. But I do think there is enough people that are providing good information. I think both Nemi and Crownie are providing a lot of good information. I think Rekkles is probably going to provide a lot of good information for the team, especially the more they play together. But I think the bigger issue is that what they're going to lose is they're going to lose one, somebody who engages, and somebody else who's really going to start a fight. Right now, they don't really have people that are going to start a fight. Baus kind of, besides Cadril, Baus will start fights basically kind of by himself, but he doesn't find that many angles for the most part. Even though he does play a lot of typical engagers like Scion and Kled, and even champions obviously like Volibear and Gragas can engage, he doesn't typically play them like engaged champions. So it gets to the point where their main engage has been Kadril. That's why you see Kadril pretty much playing stuff like Leona, Rakan, Alistar, all these kinds of champions, and it's been working really well for them. And Velja, I think, is pretty good, and he is playing stuff like Vi and Xin Zhao and these champions that can engage. But I don't know if I trust him to be the primary engage, especially when he seems to be talking a lot less than some of the other people. And because he's a rookie for the most part, and he doesn't really have the same kind of competitive experience. I don't know if I trust him to be able to find the fights and start the fights the way that they need to be done. Um, and they're not going to get that when they get Rekkles. If you look at Rekkles's career as a support, he pretty much plays Senna. That's what T1 Academy decided. They decided, Rekkles, you play Senna. That's what you're good at. And it makes sense. He's been an AD carry player for years and years and years, and not everybody's core JJ, right? Where you become this insane engager. And it makes sense based on Rekkles's playstyle in AD carry. He was not an aggressive AD carry player. He was a much more reactive and passive AD carry player. So you get to the point where they're going to lose out. They're trading this Alistar, Rakan, Leona player for this Senna player. And if you look at what else he plays like Renata, who can engage sort of if you're on playing Renata. You see him engage, and it's more picks usually. But he's really a disengaged champion, and it's like weird because. And then if you look at those champs that I talked about, his most played engager, Rekkles, is Leona, and he's got a 28% win rate on it in the Academy League. Um, he's got his second most played is Rel, I think, with 6 games. Leona has 7 games, and for reference, I think he's got like 30 Senna games. Now that is including ADC games, but Renata has like 11 games, and he's got negative win rates on like all these champs. His only positive win rate engaged champion is Alistar, and I say engaged champion because Alistar is an engaged champion, but he's like almost more of a disengaged champion than he is an engaged champion. The full-on engagers like the Leona, like the Rel, like the Nautilus, negative win rate on all of them, and they're not even close to positive. Not like 40% win rates; they're like 25% win rates, and that makes sense. But it's, I think, going to be really bad for the team. I think the team is going to really lack that engaged threat. I think they're really going to lack the playmaking ability in the beginning of the game, especially when you see Nemesis playing a lot of stuff like Yon and Silas, which are really strong champions in the meta. And those champions have a much harder time if they're paired with Lulu or these things that Rekkles plays, Lulu, Janna. Like those champions don't want to be playing with those, even though they can function there. They really want to be playing with the Rakans, with the Leonas, with the Nautiluses, Alstars, all that kind of stuff. And it's going to be really weird because yeah, same thing with like Vi and Nocturne stuff they've been playing. It's not really going to work so well. Galio doesn't want to be like Galio doesn't want to be playing with enchanters. So it's going to be really really interesting to see what changes they make there, because I don't think I trust both both of their primary engaged roles then become top and jungle, who are their least experienced players. And a lot of times you really want your more experienced players, in my opinion, to be in the engaged roles, just so those players can make plays happen. It's possible that Nemesis can do it, but again, that's not really been his style. And even though champions like Silas and Yone can start fights, you don't want them to. You really want them to be coming in secondary. And there's not like it's not like Annie or Lissandra meta, which are like or Vex, these champions that can really start the fight. Um, and so it really worries me for this team. I think I don't want to get into there's other stuff with Rekkles where people have said he can be hard to work with, and that could be a problem. But I don't. What I really think is a bigger issue is this engage issue, because and I think there's a real chance it could fracture the team, and we're going to all see this potentially. So um, that like even though it's so fun to watch right now, I do really worry, especially because Bouse and Cage will have this connection. I know Cage will still going to be the coach. It's going to be weird when Rekkles is playing, and I'm going to guess. Now I don't know if this is going to happen, but Bouse. One of the things I've loved about watching Bouse is that not only has he been one of the best players, arguably the best player on the whole team, but his ego to skill ratio is so great. He's playing so well, and you can tell his ego is so low, and he does get blamed for a lot of stuff. You could tell sometimes teams don't trust him, and then he makes magic happen, and that's okay. But it's going to be different when Cagel's not in the game with him, and all of a sudden you've got a different dynamic, and he may not be having as much fun because one of his, I don't know, I don't know the dynamic, but it looks like they're really good friends, and from all accounts, they're very good friends, and you're not playing with that person anymore. They're still the coach, but it's not the same thing, and it's going to, and for now, Cagel's getting a lot of blame when things go wrong or for Des, and he has been playing poorly in some instances for sure. Some of the games have been really, really rough, but I'm worried that, especially with Bowser's high death counts, even though a lot of times he does die in good situations, he's going to start to get blamed. It's going to start to fracture the team. They're not going to be winning as much on account of the comms issue and mainly this engage issue, and it could start to fall apart. Um, I'm not saying that they should just stick with Cagel, even though I think it could be better for the team long term. But it's going to be really tough for these guys to figure it out, because Baus, even though he is like learning new champs, um, it's just not a style. The best engages you really want are from your support. You want your support to be able to play engage, and it doesn't look like Rekkles can do it. And I really worry about his ability to learn those champions. Um, I think their best bet is honestly to do something like uh, bring in. I don't know if they can bring in Yankos or something like as like a coach and have him like teach Velia to how to engage, or something like this, because I think they're going to have to somehow make that happen, or they're going to have to play really front to back. But it's going to be hard because front to back teams normally want to group up with enchanters. Baus is not really a big grouping player, and it's just a bad fit. And then you've also got the issue where, again, Nemesis has been playing a lot of these split pushes too. So then all those are out the window. Nemesis is all going to be stuck on Hui and Syndra, and it's going to be it's going to be weird if they really only have one style, and I worry that that's what's going to happen. And then similarly, they don't have a lot of poke advantage a lot of times unless it's coming from like a Senna support. So it's going to be a really weird situation, and I think that they're going to struggle a lot more when Rekkles comes in, and they're going to be kind of Um, I don't know, less fun. But uh, overall, I mean, honestly, I would probably rather see Cadro or somebody else come in and support, because I think it's going to be bad. And we'll see. I know it looks like they're going to be playing against Dom's team, and that's going to be a fun matchup, and they're going to be playing against T1 and all this. But I expect, if Rekkles is playing, T1's going to roll them, and I expect the fall off to be pretty drastic, and I'm not sure they're ever going to recover. And there's still a decent chance that they win their league, but right now, I would probably bet money that they would win it with this roster, and I probably wouldn't when Rekkles comes in. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But either way, I'm excited for the matches. I think it's great, like from entertainment value. And at the end of the day, LoL esports is there as entertainment. That it's there to be entertaining. It's there to be for the fans, and you know that's going to be the coolest part of this whole thing. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, give it a like and subscribe, and a comment as well. Let me know what you thought of it, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.